Well, hello, everyone, and welcome here to Amherst. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. It's the Bedford Bulldogs and the Souhegan Sabres, two next-door neighbors, meeting here on the final week of the season. Playoff implications on the line. Souhegan, we saw them earlier this season on this channel. That was game number 3. That was a 1-goal loss against defending champion Portsmouth. And Souhegan has not lost since. 11 straight, 13-1 overall. Good enough right now for the number 2 spot in the upcoming Division I tournament. Bedford, they're in the tournament right now as the number 8 seed with an 8-7 record, looking to build off a big victory over Merrimack 16-6 yesterday, and hoping to end their regular season with their 9th victory. So Souhegan hoping to keep it rolling, so to speak. They, by the way, will play tomorrow at Salem in the regular season finale. So a couple of wins, and the Sabres will end up potentially at 15-1, a serious championship contender.
The Sabres they're a team to watch all season long. I mean, they return 2 of the best players in the state in Izzy Stevenson and Libby Kennedy. Those two, they're a dynamic duo, and they really lead this team. You know, Bedford, they can show up, though. I've seen them play really good lacrosse this season. So, you know, I hope that they approach this with this mentality of anyone's game.
When we come back, we're going to get to it. Running a bit late here. The boys just finished their game against Timberlane a few minutes ago, so we're set to start in just about 3 minutes. Bedford, Souhegan, next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Back here in Amherst, getting set for the start of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron, Bedford, and Souhegan. These programs, very accomplished over the years. Bedford's case, all under the same head coach, Christine Hodgson, now in her 16th season. A veteran on the home sideline as well, and McKinley Sabordoni. Programs, teams, players know each other, and that makes it fun, these kind of rivalry games, especially late in the season.
It does. I think for Coach Hodgson, this season's extra sweet with her twin daughters being seniors. They've worked their way up through the Bedford youth program and hoping to finish with a bang here with the Bulldogs in their senior season. And,
of course, is Carly and Vi, two of the 7 seniors for Bedford. Souhegan, 6 seniors on the other side. Again, final game for Bedford. A win, well, they're in, regardless. They lose, they finish 8-8. That should still be good enough to capture that final playoff spot. The reward, of course, is to face top seed and undefeated Portsmouth in the quarterfinal round. Sabres, they're coming off an 8-6 win over Londonderry. If things hold right now, Kristen, that would be their first matchup in the playoffs, a rematch with the Lancers as the 2 seed versus the 7.
That's tough to play, a game like that where it's so close, to see that team again so soon after, where you don't have that much time to work on things. And in this high school season where it's so condensed and as the days are getting hotter, these girls are playing a lot of lacrosse in a very short time period. But, if I've seen anything from the Souhegan team, they're up for that challenge.
Speaking of the weather, hot today. Upper 80s, rather. Probably mid-80s, maybe lower 80s at this point. A little bit of a breeze as the sun begins to creep down here. Meanwhile, on the field, got the stick check going on. And both teams huddled up right now on the sidelines. Should be set to go here momentarily. Again, Souhegan 13-1. This is a team that went to the championship last year, fell to Portsmouth. The one loss this season was against the Clippers. That game is up on our YouTube channel from last month. And Bedford, it's been a bit of an up and down season. They had lost 4 of 5 before yesterday's victory against Merrimack. But that may be what the Bulldogs needed, a big 16-6 win to get them back on track perhaps.
Yeah, that type of confidence, having fun with your teammates, it can be tough when you are in the slumps on a losing streak, to just rally and remember that this is supposed to be fun. So I think coming off a win like that, we're going to see an energy from the Bulldogs today. You
mentioned some of the stars on the Souhegan side. Who are we looking for here for Bedford?
For Bedford, so one player I've been really impressed with is Peyton Bolduc. She was really solid in her freshman campaign and has been strong again on defense for Bedford. When goalie Irene Tsai is hot, that really generates momentum for the Bulldogs when they create that transition offense. And then the Montagano sisters have been a duo on attack as well. So we'll look to see some offensive production from them.
You mentioned Tsai, senior, veteran goaltender for Bedford. There's a senior in the other cage as well. That's Molly Benson. All right, what do we look for strategically here? Give us a couple of keys both ways for both Bedford and Souhegan.
So Souhegan's really strong in the draw circle, so we can expect that they will likely control possessions and have that on their favor, and so the Bulldogs are going to need to be aggressive on defense. We'll look to see if they play a man-to-man or a zone defense against really strong Dodgers like Stevenson and Kennedy. A zone could be effective to try and minimize those two players, but I think this is going to come down to, ground balls, who can win those extra possessions, especially for the Bulldogs. If they are not seeing those wins in the draw circle, they are going to have to scrap for those extra possessions and give themselves a chance.
Does the heat play a factor either way?
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, I don't know if these schools have got air conditioning these days, but when I was in the Bedford School District, I don't remember too much AC. So hopefully they've been hydrating throughout the day and, doing so throughout the game. But a lot of times what we see on these high school teams is they don't have that much depth. Yeah. So the players who are on the field play most of the game. And something that we see at the high school level compared to the college level is we have two-way midfielders. So when you got these midfielders who book it up and down the field playing offense and defense and really relying on them for everything, you can wear down quickly.
Of course. This is the final week of the regular season. Final game for Bedford. Game number 16 for the Bulldogs. The Sabres, again, in action on the road tomorrow at Salem to conclude their campaign. And then we have the tournament. And that, of course, is the big deal for the varsity athletes. We will have coverage here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, beginning with the quarterfinal round. That matchup yet to be determined, but this is the time of year where, as you said, want to have fun with your teammates, etc., but each game gets more and more important as we head towards the month of June.
It does. Well, it gets important. I think everyone's just got their eyes set on that Portsmouth team. I mean, they are really impressive. They returned a ton of top talent. They've been absolutely dominant this season. And so, as much as you're trying to stay present and have fun in the moment, you can't help but look ahead and say, if they had that chance to take on the Clippers, how do you attack a dominant team like that?
We saw them late in April the 20th. That was a game on this field between Souhegan and Portsmouth, the only loss for the Sabres. And as you mentioned, everybody is chasing the two-time defending champion Clippers in their bid for a three-peat. But Souhegan played them tough before Portsmouth kind of broke away in that fourth quarter. 11-5 ended up being the final. But a potential rematch, certainly, I think a lot of folks would agree, would look a lot different. 2 months can be a long time in between games.
That is a huge stretch, especially, with these high school teams, they aren't able to really practice together for an entire year. A lot of them are getting their first reps as a team in late March. So, like you said, 2 months can make all the difference in how you approach a game like that.
All right, we are just about set to go. The officials have the players on the field. Mary Lenti, sophomore midi for Bedford. And Libby Kennedy, the junior for Souhegan. Sabres in their home whites, Bulldogs in their road blacks. As we get set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. This one in the air. We are underway. Kennedy comes bowling in. Carly Hodgson-Rogers lowers a shoulder. Bedford is rewarded possession. And we have a collision here along the sideline. Visitors going to keep it. And again, a quick restart here on the move as the Bulldogs come right to left on their opening possession. Seeking safety here is Carly Hodgson-Rogers, one of the two twins, two seniors, as you mentioned, two daughters of the coach, Christine Hodgson.
Yeah, so right away we're seeing Souhegan come out in this backer zone. So I've liked to see zones implemented at the high school level. That means you are leaving a player open on the far side, so electing to have that second layer defender should someone get beat. But wow, what a shot there.
Yeah, pulled it back and goes top shelf to cash in here in the game's opening minute. Pretty shot by Lenti, so a good start for the sophomore. Won the face-off, gets the opening goal.
Really good start for the Bulldogs. There was a scrappy play to start the game, fighting for that draw control. We saw multiple players hit the turf in the early seconds of the game, but that type of fight is what gets you that goal. You fight for that possession, you give yourself a chance.
So 1-0 Bedford. 53 seconds in, Mary Lenti lights the lamp. Souhegan on the back foot here early, looking for an answer. A rematch between Lenti and Kennedy. Get some movement here on the wing. Official still with the ball in his hand. Whistle blows. This one's going to take a couple of bounces towards Kennedy. Kennedy can't quite scoop it. We get a whistle, and Bedford, again, looking for a quick restart after getting possession.
Yeah, small step over the line for the Sabres, awards possession to Bedford. So the player is on that defensive or offensive end, so behind that restraining line. They're locked in until possession is awarded to one of the teams. If you step over, that's going to be ball handed to the other team.
So Bedford, against this relentless pressure here, trying to find a little bit of movement, a little bit of space up top here for Carly Hodgson-Rogers. A one-on-one dance, going to bring the defender to her right. That's Emmy Curran staying with her step for step. Now Molly Muir. Looks a little bit of keep away. We got 2 players now behind the cage, nearly 3 along the goal line. We get a little bit of a bump here, goal line extended. Muir takes off. Pass in the middle, knocked down, recovered behind the cage by Bedford. Pump back out here to the near wing. There's a player open in the middle. Good catch there. Shot. And score. It's Eloise Montagano, senior, one of 2 Montaganos on the Bedford roster. Bulldogs with a 2-0 lead 2 minutes in.
That was really great lacrosse from the Bulldogs. They were handling the pressure really well. They maintained their composure, and then by moving the ball, they swung it through X. Their feeders kept their head up and find that opening with Montagano there in the middle, and she finishes well. Impressive ball movement. Again, another draw control win.
Yeah.
I like what I see.
Yeah, Lenti 2-0. And Bedford playing it well so far 2 minutes in. They've brought several Bulldog fans with them across the town line. So there's definitely a presence here in Souhegan, a pro-Bedford presence. Sabres looking to give the home fans something to cheer about here as they look to recover. Instead, Lenti's got the inside track on a bouncer. Her pass down. Good defensive by Curran. Lenti recovers. Skips it away from the double team, and now Carly Hodgson-Rogers steps back across the line here. Looking to swim upstream. Hooks up with Lenti on a short pass, and again, she's surrounded. 2, make it 3 defenders in the area. Good split dodge there, trying to protect the ball with the player on her back. Hodgson-Rogers takes over, has a little bit of free space here up top. And now Bedford once again looking to get into rhythm here on attack with a 2-0 lead.
Nick, you asked me if the heat was going to be a factor. I don't think so too much, but the sun, I saw the sun there in Carly Hodgson-Rogers' eyes, but she was able to catch that ball. Again, good job from Bedford remaining composed. Souhegan has been high pressure so far on them in transition and in this zone. So looks like they might have looking at what they're doing defensively. Yep, still playing that high pressure, and that's the kind of turnover they hope to come up with. That's
a back check from Sophie Jacobs, part of that strong junior class for Souhegan. However, a whistle gives it back to Bedford, and now we have a steal. Good takeaway. Maddie Ben, sophomore, has the clear after the takeaway. And now a drop pass up top that causes Avery Curran to scramble a bit, but Curran, the sophomore, is A-OK. Souhegan looking to get on the board here. 4 minutes gone by in this first quarter. And really the first time we've seen an extended presence on this end of the field here as the Sabre offense has not had the possession.
Bedford's opting to play this man-to-man, so they trust their 1v1 defense. In this situation, we're going to see sometimes with that 1v1, that defender low on the crease is going to get caught in shooting space. That's exactly how this is designed. They're isolating a player, and they want to draw that foul.
Emmy Curran coming one-on-one here. Irene Sy is the goaltender for Bedford. Curran passes, step down, shot off the crossbar. A laser there from Stevenson. Ground ball far side. Lenti is in the mix for Bedford, but it's Stevenson who comes away with it. Now she's going to come back to the middle, shot jammed up. Ball ricochets out of bounds behind the net and stay with the home team. 5 minutes in, first quarter. Bedford the underdog on paper with a 2-0 lead here early on the road. This one stripped in the middle, a battle in the slot. Stevenson trying to find room behind the cage. Unguarded for the moment, comes right side for Curran. Coming downhill is Emmy Curran. Curran gets the step. Curran all the way to the cage is going to cash in. Emmy Curran, the sophomore, got the step and knew what to do with it. Souhegan on the board. It's 2-1 Bedford.
Took Souhegan a few minutes to get going here, but that's the kind of offense we typically see from them. Strong Dodgers, good stick control inside. Curran there did a nice job protecting her stick before she gets that shot off, keeping her arms close to the body and finishing with precision.
Nearing the midway point, first quarter. So Souhegan trying to stay in rhythm. Bedford has won all three of the draws so far. Mary Lenti looking to continue that momentum for the Bulldogs. You mentioned some of the lighting can be tricky this time of night. Shadows are growing down the other end. And this side here, left to right, still fully in the sun here for Souhegan.
Just have to be aware of it. You know, if your teammate looks like they're blinded by the light, maybe don't toss them that ball. But that's just, all about communication. If you can't see, don't ask for it.
Right. Meanwhile, Avery Curran going to draw contact here on the near wing and a second free possession shot on the way for Souhegan. Of course, Emmy and Avery Curran, both sophomores.
Yeah, Bedford giving up 2 free positions and back-to-back possessions is not the type of way you want to play this team because they move the ball so well. They really do.
So, and there's the shot on the doorstep. Well, that one by design clearly and well executed to tie the game at 2.
Yeah, it's 2 free positions in a row, so Souhegan opts to pull it out. So they don't take that initial shot. They move the ball, which is really smart and can catch the defenders a bit off guard. But I think for Bedford right now, what you have to do is just lock in and be disciplined on defense. No fouls in the critical scoring area. Stay out of shooting space because if you put Souhegan on the line, chances are they're going to score.
So Bulldogs scored the first 2, Sabres the last 2, and we're tied at 2 midway through this first period. Meanwhile, another rematch between Kennedy and Lenti. Lenti will win this one single-handedly. It's 4-5 now for Bedford. Bulldogs back on attack here. Eloise Montagano, short pass, taken far side. And again, that swarming Souhegan defense. You mentioned the backer. That certainly increases the pressure on the ball handler, right?
Yeah, they're not even, wanting Bedford to get below the restraining line. Like, they've got that high pressure all over the field, so hoping for that transition before it even gets that takeaway before it even gets to the offensive end. But Bedford's doing a good job handling the pressure.
High pass out in front, shot and score. Goal number 2 for Eloise Montagano. Tough catch above the head there, finished it in one motion, putting Bedford back in front 3-2.
Yeah, she was one of the players to watch. She finds herself open in the middle of the field, and that's not by accident. She knows how to time her cuts, keeps her head up, and I think that one was assisted by her younger sister.
There you go.
So, love to see that Liza and Eloise connection out there.
The third Bulldog goal comes with just over 5 minutes to play in what's been a high-flying first quarter. Welcome you inside the Sabre Clubhouse here. Nick Anastas along with Kristen Cameron. Final week of the regular season. Souhegan, huge win streak on the line. 11 straight, looking to make it 12 before wrapping up the season tomorrow on the road at Salem. This is Bedford's final game before the 8-team playoff tournament begins. And we'll have coverage of that quarterfinal round right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. Well, Bedford's given possession again. And the Bulldogs have had a clear advantage in the draw circle so far, 5 of 6. Meanwhile, Carly Hodgson-Rogers, she's handled the ball a lot here in this first quarter. Looking to orchestrate on the far wing. Hits the gas, gets a step, draws a slide. Nice pass, shot, and score. Paige Gibson, good cut near the cage. And a pretty pass to make it 4-2 Bedford.
I am so impressed by the Bulldogs. I mean, again, there was a swarm of defenders ready for Lenti and Carly Hodgson-Rogers. Once they won that draw control, they handle the pressure, they stay composed on offense, and just a beautiful feed to the inside. Again, this be a little bit of a different feed look than we've seen before, so this time feeding high to low down to the crease, and Gibson just, again, finishes really good stick control there. But a player that stood out so far in this game is Carly Hodgson-Rogers. She's been doing a lot in transition for them, and I credit her with maintaining a lot of these possessions and generating offense.
The senior catching her breath on the wing here for Bedford. And you're right, we've seen some pretty passes already through the opening minutes of this game here. 4 minutes and change to go in the first quarter. 4-2 Bulldogs. Mary Lenti, big reason for the early success, wins another face-off. No help necessary. Now again, Souhegan looking to poke it loose on defense. We get a whistle, and it stays with Bedford.
Officials are calling this one tight so far. So, if I'm the players, I'm taking note, making sure that stick doesn't go horizontal. No, contact up high. They're going to call this one tight. Great
play by Maddie Ben. Sophomore defender, that's her second ground ball coming off the takeaway, and now the home team working left to right, trailing by 2. Inside of 4 minutes to go, first quarter. Bedford just kind of hanging back here defensively.
Yeah, they're packing it in pretty tight, so they're hanging out on that 8-meter, not pressuring out behind the cage or on ball. They're in a man-to-man defense, so each player is responsible for stopping ball, and then we'll see, this tests your communication, because if you are going to play a man-to-man defense, you've got to have your slides ready to go. And sliding with staying out of shooting space is really the key for this type of defense.
Meanwhile, coming downhill is Kennedy. Pivots, shot sent back by Cy. Ground ball will keep it here. First stop in net for the Bedford senior.
So that was a great correction by Peyton Bolduck. She got caught in that situation before in the shooting space, so she was in the lane of that shot. This time she approaches with her stick and doesn't get called for it. That's exactly how you want to defend that.
Left-handed shot in the back of the net. Lanai Hickman, one of 4 juniors for Souhegan. Good one-on-one move there on the wing to cut Bedford's lead in half.
Yeah, she uses both hands nicely. She at first is dodging hard right. She slows her feet, pulls back, switches to her left hand, and then does a nice job. She shoots across her body and is able to place that one low. Well done by Hickman.
Both attacks in rhythm here early on. 7 total goals through just over 9 minutes of action.
Yeah, both attacks in rhythm, but we're seeing completely different things from each team. So Bedford is playing more into their feeding and passing game versus Souhegan is relying on their dodgers, those players who can really just do it all themselves.
Bedford open for another Mary Lenti win here. Got a ground ball near side. Curran in the mix for Souhegan. This one kicked back towards midfield. Carly Hodgson-Rogers. Another ground ball for Bedford. Good below-the-knee pickup there. Long pass knocked out of bounds. The officials will give this to Souhegan. Sabres looking for a quick clear. They'll get it. However, the ball betrays Emmy Curran. Good concentration to pick that up knee high off the bounce. Sabre attack still on schedule here, hoping to tie the game as we move toward the 2-minute mark first quarter. Stevenson passes into a crowd that somehow got through, out of bounds, far side, turned over to Bedford.
Stevenson tried to play that one fast there, kind of push that transition offense, but pass wasn't there. We've seen them slow it down. I like watching teams play fast. Just a little bit more better decision making there on the inside.
Well, taking the bump is Anna Rogers. One of 4 freshmen for Bedford. However, ball taken away by Souhegan. Short pass there for Stevenson. Can't quite pick it up. We get a whistle and now another restart. Final 90 seconds, first quarter. Souhegan has trailed most of the way, looking to tie the game here. Coach Sportoni wants to go around the horn here, I think. Maybe with one eye on the clock as we head toward the final minute.
Yeah, no shot clock here in girls high school lacrosse, so they can use that full 90 seconds that they had, work it around, wait for that right opportunity that is a sure thing, tie this up before halftime.
Nice pass there. Shot and score. Tough catch in a crowd. Avery Curran able to cash in from straight away. Patience pays off there for the home team, tying the game at 4.
Both Currans have had a presence here in this first quarter. Again, this time, one of them being a goal scorer. I like this set. It's something a little bit different than we've seen before with the feeder behind the cage. Just as I say they're relying on those Dodgers, they look to feed it on the inside. And a good goal from Avery Curran to tie this up. And 49 seconds left in it in this quarter. That's a good amount of time. Don't count this quarter out.
You're right. Meanwhile, you can see Lenti trying to direct traffic from within the draw circle. Lenti had it, stripped. Avery Curran. Nice S-dodge, and here come the Sabres. Home team looking to take their first lead as we approach 30 seconds to go first quarter. Been a game of mini runs so far. 2 from Bedford, 2 from Souhegan, 2 from Bedford, 2 from Souhegan.
Yeah, and it's really all started with the draw. If you have possession, you have an opportunity. Both teams they're scrapping hard on defense. They are high pressure, getting their sticks in those passing lanes. I feel like I'm feeling some more intensity from the Bedford defense as this quarter has ticked on.
Final seconds, shot wide, out of play, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. A good opening punch by Bedford, counter punch from Souhegan. 4-4 after 12 minutes. Second quarter next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, a fun start to this one here in Amherst. 2 next-door neighbors, 2 rivals, and a good first 12 minutes in the books. 4-4 between Bedford and Souhegan in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. We're presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron. Final week of the regular season. Final game for Bedford. Tournament looming next week. Bulldogs 8-7 on the year. Right now they'd be the number 8 seed in the upcoming tournament. Souhegan, they're still in the mix potentially for a top seed at 13-1, just a half game behind undefeated Portsmouth, who is 13-0. Still one more on the docket. That comes tomorrow. Souhegan at Salem in the regular season finale. So Bedford, the underdog on paper, got out to a 2-0 lead. Mary Lenti, a big reason why. She's had the advantage in the face-off or the draw circle, and also scored the opening goal in the opening minute. That was followed by Eloise Montagano. So Bedford, a quick 2-0 lead with just over 2 minutes gone by. Souhegan came right back. Emmy Curran made it 2-1. And then a nice play off a free position shot. Tied the game at 2 just a moment later. Bedford, 2 in a row. Montagano second, Paige Gibson. Inside of 5 minutes, it was 4-2 Bulldogs, but the final 3 minutes go Souhegan's way. Lanai Hickman and then Avery Curran. That's where we are. That's all within 12 minutes. 4-4 as we begin this second quarter here at Souhegan High School. This one played off the bounce near side, scooped up at knee level by Emmy Curran. Souhegan starting to even things out a bit at the draw circle. After losing 6 of their first 7, they've now won 3 straight and are looking for their 3rd straight goal, which would be the longest goal streak of this first half so far. Meanwhile, Kennedy, shake and bake to her right, shot and score. Boy, the footwork impressive there, able to make the move to her right, cock back and fire, and Souhegan's out in front for the first time, 5-4.
Kennedy was quieter to start the game, but you cannot count her out. She was going to heat up, and she does it to start this second quarter. Again, one of those Dodgers that's just hard to stop when she gets momentum. We're going to see more of that from her in the back 3 quarters of this game.
She was one of your players to watch, clearly one of the better players statewide.
Yeah, Stevenson and Kennedy duo, both committed to play at Boston University, so teammates right now. They're building that chemistry, and they will play together for the next 5 years beyond this. So they've got a long runway ahead of them.
It's a scary thought for sure. Again, just juniors and future BU Terriers. Meanwhile, Lenti and Emmy Curran getting set for another bout here in the circle. Souhegan scored 3 in a row. This crowd starting to come alive a little bit here, well attended. Hot day today, as we mentioned, 80 degrees at game time. Hovering around that temperature right now. It's a good one-handed stab there for Kennedy. Souhegan has now won 4 in a row at the circle and looking for their 4th straight goal. 2 players behind the cage. He'll cycle it out near side for Hickman. And Bedford perhaps trying to pack it in a little more here. Now trailing by a goal.
Yeah, so this defensive approach can serve you well. It can also expose you. So if you get beat so close to the cage, you don't have that much time to react and slide like we just saw happen there.
That's Izzy Stevenson starting to heat up. The BU commit showing off the footwork here. It's now 6-4 Souhegan.
Yeah, nice lefty finish there for Stevenson. Again, give her the time and room to dodge, and she will find a way to get that ball in the back of the net.
As a goaltender, is it tougher to identify from a left-handed shooter versus a right, or no difference?
I think it's just all about reading that shot. Again, if you get your hands away from your body as a shooter and you have that wind up in that great form, no matter what hand you're shooting with, it is going to be really tough, especially in that kind of close range to stop. All right, we're here with the next draw. Again, a lineup that we've seen before with Lenti in the draw circle. Souhegan getting some momentum here early on in the second quarter, winning these back-to-back draw controls that have been generating some early offense for them.
Meanwhile, here comes Kennedy, shot and score. The Souhegan attack is rolling now. 5 unanswered goals for the Sabres, and it's 7-4.
And it all it took was that one goal to get Kennedy going, and now she's hot. She has really good strength there, and you almost see she catches her balance. Her goggles are knocked off at the end there, fighting through some traffic to find that opening. But really, all this offense starts with these draw control wins. Those are such critical possessions, and credit those to Souhegan's momentum here.
5 unanswered, including 3 here in the first 93 seconds of the second quarter. Bedford hoping to plug the leak here. Lenti, who was dominant in that first quarter, looking for a first win in the draw circle of this second quarter, has to go skyward for it, knocks it down. The sophomore picks it up waist high and draws contact to ensure the Bulldog possession. So there's the win Bedford was hoping for. Quick pass, though. Ball's back on the ground. Molly Muir to the rescue. Short pass. Taken near side for Melanie Gibson. Senior's in trouble. Gibson trying to bat it out of the sky, controls over the shoulders, and then is knocked down to one knee. Pops right back up as we play on. Bulldogs trying to swim upstream. Gibson now on the loose. Over to Muir. Muir escorts it across midfield. This pass dropped. Anna Rogers, the freshman, now triple teamed. Another whistle, and the trail official is going to reward the visitors with possession.
Really relentless ride here from the Sabres. As soon as Bedford's had any kind of possession, they've got pressure on near instantaneously. So if I'm Bedford, you got to really focus on that stick protection. They've gotten some calls that have given the ball back to them, but again, a lot of these checks are well played, and that if the Sabres are checking away from the body in that quick motion, not following all the way through, that's a clean check, and that's going to award them possessions.
So Bedford trying to get back into the groove on offense. Their last goal came at the 4:27 mark in the first quarter. Instead, a brilliant takeaway on the far side. Stevenson now in traffic, launches to her left. Good catch on the run by Emmy Curran. Here comes the sophomore down the middle. Sabres with numbers. Curran pulls it out. Kennedy near side for Hickman. Pass shut off. Hickman a couple of jabs. Looks for a cutter. Finds Stevenson. Bouncer goes wide right. Kept in play, though, behind the net, and Souhegan continues the possession. 3.5 gone by here, second quarter. Sabres in control. They have won at the face-off circle here in the second quarter and have scored 5 straight as a result. Looking for 6 here on a bull move. They're going to count that? No, they won't. Curran stepped in the crease. Goal won't count. Bedford possession.
Yeah, still a really good take from Curran. She was determined there, but the rules with that crease, so you can't step in the crease as you are taking the shot, and you also can't land in there across that goal line. You cannot finish with any part of your toes or feet across that goal circle.
Meanwhile, Lenti triple teamed and stripped at midfield. Avery Curran going to jog the other way for Souhegan as that ride has looked impressive.
Yeah, whatever Coach McKinley Sportone said to them between quarters was effective, because they have come out in this second quarter with just a different energy. They look like they are, they're more fierce in this second quarter, I would say, fighting on the draw control circle and just more energy on this attacking end.
Nearly 5 minutes in, second quarter. Souhegan looking for their 12th straight win, their 14th of the season. Kennedy out in front. Pass was on time and on target. Shot a little wide. It's backed up, though, by the home team, and the Sabres will keep it.
Yeah, we're seeing, again, the ball behind the cage at X. Sabres continue to just work it around. Looks like they might be wanting to get the ball up top and isolate one of their Dodgers again. So Curran looks like she wants to take it here, but she's in traffic. So again, if you're one of her teammates, you want to clear a lane if you see that a Dodger wants to get through. So let's see what Kennedy can do with that lane.
Yeah, got some space this time, but second defender knocks the ball away. Sy thought about leaving the cage. Instead, it's plucked out of the netting by the Sabres, and they'll keep it here. We near the midway point, second quarter. We saw 8 combined goals in the first quarter. 4-4 our score after one. Souhegan, though, been the better team so far in this second quarter. Shot rejected. Peyton Bolduc read that one. Good play by the junior defender. But again, the ground ball keeps it at this end. Now Hickman slowing down to a crawl here. Kennedy, goal line extended now. A brief touch from Meredith Heimrich. There's 9 sophomores on this varsity roster for Souhegan. Heimrich is one of them. Shot from Izzy Stevenson, looking hat trick here in this first half, but that shot from a tough angle ends up out of bounds.
Sabres are really taking their time on this possession, probably the longest that we've seen of the game so far. They've had a few shot attempts that haven't fallen, but there goes another one. Again, the Bulldogs are doing a really good job keeping their sticks up. We saw that Bulldog knockdown there, again, being really aggressive on those cutters. And with no shot clock, they have no reason to not just keep working it, keep fighting through.
All right. This is our third, or Souhegan's third free position shot, as Emmy Curran has drawn all 3 of them. She's passed on the first 2. Will she shoot here? This one deep, about 12 meters straight away. Curran waits for the signal, the officials, to make sure that the players around her aren't moving.
So we see this one set up differently where she doesn't have that teammate, which has been Stevenson, ready to pass it off to. So it makes sense that she takes that one in.
You called it. She goes right to the cage to score her second goal here. Emmy Curran putting together a good first half. Souhegan has scored now 6 straight, and Coach Hodgson has seen enough. Timeout Bedford, 8-4 Souhegan. Inside of 5 minutes to play until halftime. Our broadcast, it's brought to you by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Find out more at nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com. By MG Sports Fundraising, that's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. Of course, also by Beals Insurance. Almost skipped over Beals Insurance. Home auto business, whether you need it, they've got it. Locations in Bedford, Londonderry, and Epping. Find out more at bealsinsurance.com. And finally, by Jewett Construction. Come join us to build something great. They're proud sponsors of their trade scholarship program. That winner has been announced. Congratulations to Pinkerton senior Justin Howell. He has been named the 2026 winner of the Jewett Trade Scholarship. He plans to pursue a career in the HVAC field following graduation. And, well, Jewett Construction going to help him achieve his goals. We'd love to speak with Justin at some point over the next coming weeks before the end of the season. So congratulations again to the senior from Pinkerton, Justin Howell, for winning the Jewett Trade Scholarship program. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Souhegan, after trailing early in that first quarter, come roaring back here in the second. 6 unanswered goals. They've kept Bedford off the board here in the quarter, and right now have the visitors scrambling a bit.
Yeah, that was a critical timeout for the Bulldogs, and we'll see how they come out of it. If I'm Coach Christine Hodgson in that huddle, I'm just reminding my team how we started this game, what we're capable of, and how we just need to play harder. Souhegan stepped up, and so they need to match that or exceed it. So that starts with returning to winning those draw controls and just being more aggressive in the middle of the field. Souhegan started to win those 50-50 balls, and that showed.
And they're also starting to win consistently in the draw circle. What's been the difference between the 2 quarters there?
Yeah, Lenti was quick with it, quick off the whistle. I think, once you are matching up against the same player, you start to learn their style. You know how they are going to want to pull and place the ball. And so Lenti is the type of draw control specialist who likes to pull it to herself. And so you start to pick up on that. You can adjust. And so that's what Souhegan has done.
Meanwhile, Hickman up top gets rid of it. Avery Curran, split dodge, bouncer, denied by Sy. On her second stop, ground ball still loose out in front of the crease. Anybody's guess there. A big pile of players, and ultimately it's Souhegan. Ava Stiles, the senior, with the ground ball there.
Those are the type of ground balls that Souhegan has started winning that have made a difference for them. That ground ball leads to an extra possession here, and now we're going to see Stevenson on the line for an 8-meter. So, if that ground ball had been picked up by Bedford, we could have already been seeing transition offense on the other end.
Stevenson not going to fire there. Instead goes up top to Kennedy. Swung near side for Hickman. Spins to her left and stopped again by Sy. Able to shut down that high to low. Looking for the ground ball for Bedford is Bolduc. Can't quite get there. Souhegan again with possession. Stiles. A couple of key ground balls on that play, on that possession. Some help there from Abby Gray, who secured it in the end. Final 2:40 here before halftime. Coming up at halftime, stats, highlights, analysis, full recap. We'll see if we can get some out-of-town scores as well on a busy final Wednesday of the regular season.
All right, so we're seeing Souhegan again, work it around a little bit, testing out that 1v1 dodging, seeing if there's anything there. Now we're getting Hickman from behind the cage. They have a lot of threats, the Souhegan team does. If you shut one down, it's next woman up mentality. And so I like that they have confidence in each other, and whoever's got the ball, they let them give it a go. And so here we've got Stevenson. She calls for it. She wants that screen. Take it herself. Let's see.
6 different goal scorers for Souhegan. Here's a backhanded attempt. Goes wide from straight away, backed up behind cage. 2 players behind the net for Souhegan. Final 100 seconds of the first half. Stevenson trying to direct traffic, lobs one inside. Hickman knocked down by Sy. Ground ball again up for grabs out in front of the slot, and ultimately it's the Bedford goaltender who is there. Sy's starting to heat up here. 3 of her 4 saves in this second quarter.
Yeah, that was a really good sequence for her there. Again, building confidence. Sometimes it takes just that first or second save to get going there. And, she was that extra layer of defense that the Bulldogs needed. And I noticed they made a defensive adjustment. They did a much better job with sticks up in the passing lane, making contact earlier with the Dodgers, which made a difference.
Perhaps falling down 2-0 2 minutes into the game served as a type of wake-up call. Is that fair?
Definitely. Especially if you come out, overconfident or thinking too far ahead, like you said, this is the last game of the regular season with playoffs all in the mind, it can be easy to look past a game like this.
Meanwhile, after the whistle, power move here, shot and score. Despite the contact on the release, Liza Montagano, the freshman, is going to get her name in the scorer's book. Bedford needed that one. It comes inside of 40 seconds remaining in this first half. 3-goal game again at 8-5.
That was a huge Bedford goal to stop this Souhegan run and get back in it. Again, Liza Montagno does a really nice job there protecting her stick. Souhegan has been all over it with those checks up high. And so you see as she tucks underneath her defender, she keeps that stick in tight, protecting it around her face, and then finishes low. Really, really good possession there from the Bulldogs.
After a tough second quarter, Bedford hoping to head to halftime with a little bit of a boost. That goal by the Bulldogs snaps the 6-goal streak by Souhegan. Shadows continuing to grow as we head towards sunset. Basically the left side now in shadow, the right side still in the sun. Interesting dynamic. Another face-off win for the Sabres. Stevenson looking to make a move along that right wing. Nowhere to go. Going to backpedal. The pass on time. Kennedy's shot is in the back of the net. Libby Kennedy's got the hat trick. It comes with 24 seconds to go in this first half. A lightning quick answer by the Sabres puts them back up by 4.
I think that was about 15 seconds from draw to goal, and that's how quickly this game can move. I was at the Final Four, the women's championship this weekend. They've got signs plastered all over the stadium, the fastest game on 2 feet. And it really is. Like, you can see, you can score in 5 seconds from draw control, win to goal, moving the ball. And so that's the fun kind of lacrosse. I love transition. I love pushing it fast.
Congratulations to your alma mater for getting the job done. Northwestern, their 9th championship, right, in program history.
9th national championship. Go Cats. Proud alum.
Good win here for Lenti. Still time for Bedford. 20 seconds. Sophomores take every dog so far. Looking for the trailer. It's Carly Hodgson-Rogers. Tick, tick, tick. Down a 5 shot and score as it rolls through the 5-hole. Good effort by the goaltender, Molly Benson. May have gotten a piece. But either way, this one basically a buzzer beater. 2 seconds remaining before halftime. Bedford now trailing 9-6.
Again, it's Carly Hodgson-Rogers being an impact player for the Bulldogs. She gets the ball, not much time on the clock, and is able to find Eloise Montagano on the inside for that buzzer beater of a finish. I think, that I do think Benson might have gotten a piece of that one. I think wasn't expecting it to go in, but that's a huge goal for the Bulldogs to string 2 together back to back in such a short time span. We
see 3 total between the two teams in the final 39 seconds. One more draw. 9-6 Souhegan. And this should take us to halftime. Going to bounce near side, and that'll do it. Fun one so far. How about 9-6 at halftime? Offensive explosion all around here. Souhegan, big second quarter. They've got the lead as they seek their 12th straight win. Coming up, full recap, stats, highlights, analysis, and then right back to the action in just a moment. 9-6 Souhegan. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Well, start of the second half here in Souhegan. The home team with a 9-6 lead over their next-door neighbor, Souhegan, leading Bedford in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. We're presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. Bedford, in their final game, looking for their 9th win. They got off to the start they were hoping. 2 goals in the first 2 minutes. Mary Lenti, Eloise Montagano. Souhegan responded with 2 from Emmy Curran. Bedford 2 more. Montagano again, and then Paige Gibson. Bulldogs 4-2 with inside of 5 minutes to go first quarter. Souhegan ends on a strong note. 2 goals in the final 3 minutes. Lanai Hickman, Avery Curran. So we had a 4-4 game after 1. Then Souhegan kept it going. Goals from Libby Kennedy, Izzy Stevenson. Both are Boston University bound. Kennedy another. Emmy Curran's 3rd. Comes on a free position shot. Souhegan, as they win the opening faceoff here in the 3rd quarter. At that point, had scored 6 straight. Their largest lead was 8-4. Then a wild final minute. Bedford with a goal from Liza Montagano made it 8-5. Kennedy, 15 seconds later, gets her hat trick for Souhegan. And then with just 2 ticks to go, 2 seconds, we get another from Eloise Montagano, giving her a hat trick for Bedford. So 9-6. That is where we are here, Kristen, with Souhegan in control on the first possession of this third quarter.
In control, working the ball. I think we're going to see them really settle in here in the second half. They figured out what is working, playing together as a team here. I'm liking the ball movement. We see Hickman dodges, doesn't have it, moves it. Again, next player up. They've got a lot of depth here on this offense.
Meanwhile, a lot of communication for Bedford defensively, and that leads to a knockdown pass. However, the ground ball is scooped up waist high here on the near side by Gray to keep it with Souhegan.
That's been the Bulldogs' downfall, is they are knocking these passes down. Balls are hitting the turf, but they can't quite come up with it.
Here's a shot and a score. Kind of a surprise trigger pull there in a crowd from deep. It's goal number 4 for the sophomore Emmy Curran, having one of her better games here so far. He has matched their largest lead from earlier at 10-6.
At the same point you were talking about communication there for Bedford, they lose it a little bit here and are just too slow to send that slide. Not really viewing Curran as much of a threat as they needed to from that far out. She was not afraid to release, even with some pressure on her, so that's an adjustment that the Bulldogs can make. You see a shooter now who's got 4 tallies on the day. You got to send an earlier slide to her.
So 10-6. Souhegan 13-1. Coming into today, just a half game behind undefeated Portsmouth, who is 13. And again, the season not over tonight for Souhegan. They're at Salem tomorrow afternoon. Bedford wraps up the regular season schedule. Ground ball goes to Kennedy. Another face-off win for Souhegan. That's been an interesting storyline as well. Bedford had the early advantage there, but Souhegan has carved out an advantage of their own, really, from the second quarter on.
Yeah, not necessarily clean wins for Souhegan, but they're dominating everything that's on the ground. So ball down, they are coming up with it. And so they're creating those extra possessions by being scrappy on the turf.
They now lead the overall battle unofficially 10-9. A little shake and bake here up top. Nowhere to go for Highmark. Highmark going to get rid of it. Let Stevenson go to work.
Yeah,
nowhere to go. Good defense.
It's nice that they're not forcing it too, right? So, this is the type of territory. If Bedford's playing good 1v1 defense, you could run into that defender and get called for an offensive charge, but they're being smart about it. They're dodging, being met with the pressure, pulling out, and moving the ball.
Well, Cy may have gotten another piece there. A handful of stops for the Bedford senior goaltender. Up top, Avery Curran, lefty pull, shot and score. Goes top shelf there from straight away, and that's goal number 2 for Avery Curran. 11-6. Souhegan's lead is 5 for the first time.
There are some names that we were just destined to hear a lot of tonight. And the Currans are one of them. Avery with a really nice split dodge there. Great finish with her left hand again, shoots across her body and finds that top right corner. Well, something we could have seen there is, if she just shot straight on that plane, she is met with size, stick side high, but again, she changes it, pulls across her body and finds that top right corner.
Sabres, during this 11-game win streak, put up some gaudy totals. 17 3 times. We saw 20. Numbers starting to climb up here with just under 3 minutes gone by in this second half. 11-6. And you mentioned it's really pick your poison with Souhegan. If you try to key in on one particular player, there's so many others that can step up and fill that void.
Yep. And pick your poison. The poison has been here. My gosh, the Sabres have been so effective between the 30s, creating just chaos, causing turnovers.
Got a yellow card here. This may be against the Bedford sideline.
Yeah, I do think that yellow card was awarded to Coach Hodgson. Again, from up here, hard to really hear what's going on the sidelines.
It seemed like she had an issue with something that had transpired there prior to the official Dave Pelletier blowing the whistle and reaching into his pocket for the yellow card.
Yeah, I have a feeling there was a scrap or scrum that was going on closer to that sideline right after the draw control when Souhegan did end up coming up with it. So with that yellow card that's been issued to the Bedford sideline, that means that they've got to pull a player off the field, be any player that they designate, and that is a 2-minute non-releasable penalty. So Souhegan has an opportunity to go a player up for 2 minutes.
Meanwhile, we have another whistle and another Bedford violation.
Yeah, likely a 3 seconds called there on Muir, so you can't just hang out in that 8 meter not defending anyone.
That's the old illegal defense basketball call there.
It'll be marked up within a stick's length distance.
Okay. Meanwhile, Kennedy, backdoor Hickman jab, comes middle. It's cut off. Good anticipation there defensively. That's the sophomore Emerson Drawn for Bedford who prevented the play. Souhegan regroups.
So strategically here for the Sabres, they want to move the ball. Moving the ball is how you win being in a man-up situation. You can dodge into your defender, but again, the way to find that open player is just to move the ball and do it fast.
Shot goes wide there. Sy comes out of the cage in a bid to win possession. And that pays off for Bedford. Heady play there by the senior goaltender.
Yeah, that was a huge, huge pickup for the Bulldogs, especially being a player down for probably another minute plus. Because now what they can do is they can hold on to this ball, or if they didn't turn it over there between the 30s.
Another errant pass forced by the Souhegan pressure. That ride has made a difference. And now coming on the attack is Abby Gray. A little bit of room. Going to take a jog behind the net. 5 minutes gone by, third quarter. Things starting to turn Souhegan's way. They have their largest lead of 11-6 and looking for more. Right side, split dodge, shot and score. A slam dunk there for Avery Curran. Second straight and her third of the game. Another hat trick on the Souhegan side makes it 12-6.
So Avery Curran scores right as that Bedford yellow card release. So they were actually even there.
Yeah.
And sometimes what you can see is the end of a card is actually the most chaotic time, because you start to say, okay, we're good. Like, let me, take the foot off the gas here, or I'll go find my person to mark up on. And instead, you lose sight of the threat that's right in front of you. And that was Avery Curran who finished on that.
My partner on the boys' side, Rich McDonough, makes that point routinely. That's kind of a danger time, so to speak. You think you're okay, but until you're back in position, the alert level needs to be high.
Yeah, defense there was still completely unsettled, even with the addition of that seventh defender.
Good play here. It's Carly Hodgson-Rogers. She's coming full speed. Pass, though, won't get home. It's going to take a roll to the near side. Muir, the ground ball, keeps it with Bedford as we approach the midway point, third quarter. Bulldogs need a goal. They haven't scored since halftime. They trail by their largest margin, 6.
Bumped into some alums who are back here supporting their alma maters. Older sister Muir, Megan, is back from school. And Souhegan alum Callie Bishop, who just finished a great career at the University of Florida, is here in the stands.
Some celebrities on hand here. Final week of the regular season. Always fun. That's when the college kids typically come home and pay homage to their former programs. We get a bump here on the double team. It's going to stick with Eloise Montagano, who has been one of the better players, not just today for Bedford, but all season. This shot is swept away. That's Benson able to hug that far pole. I believe that's her first save. Ground ball goes to Kennedy. No, not Kennedy. Maddie Bain, who has had several ground balls, is going to clear this one herself along that far sideline.
Yeah, she's been a name you've been saying repeatedly on the defensive end. She's just been really solid for the Sabres. It's overall a consistent player.
I think three ground balls and 3 clears for Ben. Meanwhile, Bedford going to sit back here defensively for a moment. Souhegan going to get their pieces on the board and look to build on a 12-6 lead with inside of 5 minutes to go third quarter.
Yeah, so Souhegan's now in a comfortable position. 6 goals is certainly not safe, but you can start to slow it down here. Take your time with these offensive possessions. Again, they have another game tomorrow.
Right.
And so, it could be smart here to not run and gun for the rest of this game. Be a little bit smarter and take their time with these possessions.
That was a good save by Cy. It leads to a ground ball for her classmate, Carly Hodgson-Rogers. The Bedford senior being hounded from behind, and Kennedy commits a little bit of contact there on the back check attempt. The officials whistle it, and once again are now in communication with, I believe, the Bedford sideline. The whistle's going to go Bedford's way, but Coach Hodgson, I think, has been upset. Her players have taken a pretty good beating here. We've seen a lot of bodies on the turf. And it's been a physical game so far as we hit the 4-minute mark, third quarter.
Yes, it has been a physical game. I do like to see the officials letting the players play a little bit, of course, in a safe way, especially for a lot of these players who are headed on to play at the next level. They're only going to see it increase from here. And so as long as it's safe, let's, you can make some contact. You can do it in an effective way.
As a coach, you want to look out for your players, though, so it's that fine line, right?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And especially you want to make sure that the calls are going consistently both ways.
Right. Working on 3 minutes here. And again, Souhegan with a 6-goal lead in no hurry on the attack as they get the restart. Oh, no, this is Bedford. I'm sorry. It's Muir. Goes around the cage. Benson with a nice save. Able to swallow that one up over the right shoulder. Her second stop here in the third quarter keeps it 12-6.
It was the right idea there from Muir, who curls the crease, has a pretty wide open one-on-one with Benson and Cage, but again, keeps her stick and shoots at that same level. So the key there is you've got to change the level of your shot. If you wrap that crease, fake high, put it low around Benson.
Another good clear for Emmy Curran. And Souhegan now back on the attack as we head towards 2.5 to play third quarter. Coming downhill, Kennedy didn't get it off cleanly. Ground ball, that's Bedford's Kathleen De Silva in the mix. One of the 7 Bulldog seniors, but a whistle first is going to keep this at this end with the Sabres. Meanwhile, Gray going to test the waters, now backpedal. Hooks up with Stevenson, who's got plenty of room here on the near wing. She'll take a trip now behind the cage.
Stevenson's going to, invert. She's as effective as a feeder as she is as a dodger, and she finds her counterpart in Stevenson on the inside. Or, sorry,
it's
Stevenson to Kennedy on the inside.
The 2 future BU Terriers hook up there. 2 juniors have been cooking today. Stevenson, 3 goals in the Stevenson, the assist there. Kennedy, who had 3 goals in the first half, just scored her 4th. She beats Cy upstairs to make it 13-6. Sabres put together a 6-goal streak in the first half. They've put now 4 unanswered up on the board here in the third quarter as their largest lead continues to grow. 13-6, 2 minutes even remaining here, third quarter. Souhegan came in at 13-1, looking for their 12th straight win. A loss today for Bedford closed down the regular season with a 500 record. They're 8-7 right now. A loss would drop them to 8-8.
Carly Hodgson-Rogers is not giving up the fight for Bedford. She has been a threat in the midfield between the 30s, coming up with these ground balls, creating that transition offense. She'll head to the University of New England up in Bedford, Maine next year, and I think, based on what I'm seeing today, they could put her on either end of the field, whether she plays defense, offense, or even, potentially a defensive midi could be a really effective position for her.
There's another ground ball for Ben, and she's off to the races again, crossing midfield via that far sideline. She's been a weapon on defense for Souhegan. Sabres back at it. Final minute, third quarter. Avery Curran trying to find space to get it off and does so. Patience there, the lefty able to fire and score. Big quarter for Avery Curran. 3 of her now 4 goals have come since halftime. And Souhegan's lead is 14-6.
Like you said, a name we've been hearing a lot this quarter, Avery Curran. She was not going to let the clock deter her. Takes it right in, doesn't waste much time. But now if I'm Souhegan, I do take the foot off the gas a little bit. Save your legs, work the ball around. There's plenty of things that you can work on and get better over these next 12, nearly 13 minutes left in the game. That can be actually a skill that you can and should work on, is how to use the clock. You've got a minute left. You want to get that last shot off. How do you use that full minute to your advantage?
Another ground ball for Stevenson. Another draw win for Souhegan. Sabres thinking one more here over the final 45 seconds. Coach Bordone issuing commands from the home sideline here, playing the clock down to 30 seconds. Bulldogs communicating defensively.
Yep, so the Bulldogs are looking at the clock. They can probably expect the Sabres to start dodging at them with about 15, 20 seconds left is when I'd look to take that.
Shot and save. Sy with the stop. Gibson the ground ball. Final 10 seconds. Bedford looking for the clear near side. Eloise Montagano double team. Catch is made on the run. Tiptoeing the sideline is Paige Gibson, and that will do it for the third quarter. Souhegan flexing their muscles. They add 5 more in that frame and lead 14-6 as we take the final turn. Fourth quarter. On the other side, is the lead big enough to hold, or does Bedford have some comeback magic on the road? We find out next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Souhegan with a big third quarter. Out in front here now, 14-6 as we begin the fourth here in Amherst. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Final week of the regular season. Souhegan has won 11 straight. A chance to improve to 14-1 before wrapping up the regular season on the road tomorrow afternoon at Salem. Bedford, it's their final game tonight. A loss would drop the Bulldogs to 8-8. Still good enough, though, to qualify for the 8-team Division I tournament, which begins, by the way, a week from tomorrow. We will have coverage of that quarterfinal round right here, live on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire in our Game of the Week. It's all presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Getting ready to cook here for the final 12 minutes. Big hill to climb if you're Bedford. They got off to a good start tonight. Led 2-0 2 minutes into the game. Game was tied at 4 after the first quarter. Souhegan a big run, 6 straight. Balloon that halftime lead to 9-6, and then 5-0 Souhegan in that third quarter, Kristen. It's now 14-6 as we begin the fourth.
14-6, but we see Mary Lenti, what she did so well early in the game, coming up with that draw control cleanly again, passing it off to Carly Hodgson-Rogers, who has been one of Bedford's most consistent players this game. The Bulldogs, they've played from behind several times this season, so this is not new territory to them, but it's really how they step up to the plate now and use this last quarter to prepare themselves for that impending tournament.
Yep. Of course, everybody chasing undefeated and two-time defending champion Portsmouth. The Clippers are 13-0 going into tonight's action. Meanwhile, free position chance here for Bedford. Shot, stop. That's Benson. Able to swallow it up along that far pole. Big second half for the senior goaltender. Molly Benson now 3 saves since the break for the senior.
Benson and Bain for the Sabres on the defensive end have been the players to watch. Their presence and just stops, great lacrosse that they're playing, have made a huge difference. And it gives your team that juice that they need to finish strong.
Big part of the reason Bedford was kept off the scoreboard in that third quarter. Backdoor shot and score. That's pretty. Finding Eloise Montagano, finds the back of the net for the 4th time tonight. Bedford, their first strike since halftime. It's 14-7.
This is looking like the Bedford team that we saw in that first quarter that was coming up with draw controls, moving the ball well in transition, and then keeping their head up for those looks inside. That was textbook lacrosse. It's exactly what you do if you're Montagano. You see a ponytail, that's your time to cut. Someone's ball watching, you are open.
Nice pass, nice catch, nice shot, nice score. Lenti, couple of goals. She's taken every draw for Bedford as well. The sophomore has been busy and stands in the circle yet again. By the way, latest draw count, unofficially, of course, take it with a grain of salt, but 13 apiece. So things have evened out throughout the course of the first, 40 or 30, quick math, 37 plus, 37-19 in here.
Yeah, so if the draw controls are going to be even, then you know something else is lopsided, which has been ground balls this game. Right.
There's a win for Souhegan. Hickman going to slow it down here on the near wing. Got a football score up on the board, 14-7 Souhegan. Well, you mentioned it. Despite a pretty big lead, comfortable lead, still ways to improve over the final 10 minutes for Souhegan.
There are. The way that you manage the clock the rest of this game is highly important because the clock is something you're going to be fighting throughout the next month a couple weeks as we finish out this playoffs in this 2026 season. So being able to take time off the clock, maintain possession, score when you need to is something that the Sabres can work on in these next 10 minutes.
Meanwhile, Stevenson nowhere to go. It's been a fun battle to watch. Carly Hodgson-Rogers and Stevenson. Meanwhile, Kennedy near side, 4 goals to her credit. Took a shot upstairs, it looked like. Ball flies out to her teammate. Another ground ball for Hickman, keeps it here.
It was a really good 1v1 defense by Gibson there. And she used her size to her advantage, kept her arms in a strong position, but didn't extend, which is where she could have gotten called for that foul. Again, there she is, effective on Kennedy.
Yep, sticking with her. 3 minutes in, fourth quarter. Kennedy, side-to-side movement, not going to shake off the defender. Hickman takes over. Looking to grind on Meir. Shot, score. That was a bullet. Cocked back and fired a laser. Beating side to her right to make it 15-7.
What I like from Hickman on that shot is how far she extended her arms away from her body. You asked me earlier about how does a goalie read that. That's really hard for Cy and Cage there to read because when you have your arms extended behind your body like that, your body almost screens your stick. So you can't really see what the release point is going to be. So that's incredibly difficult to stop, but a great shot from Hickman.
Hickman, part of that strong junior class for Souhegan, her second goal tonight. One of the many weapons for Coach Sportoni. Souhegan, a serious contender. They were itching for a rematch, I'm sure, almost as soon as that Portsmouth game ended, which was a little over a month ago, just the second week of the season. It was an 11-5 Clipper victory. Souhegan has not lost since. Ground ball to Bedford. Bulldogs still fighting here. A little contact along that far sideline leads to a whistle. And a quick restart here for Carly Hodgson-Rogers.
Hickman, who's headed to play Division I at Merrimack College,
Yep.
has looked good in the second half.
Yeah, she's a good player. Good footwork. High IQ. Fits right in here with this Sabre culture. Meanwhile, a little shake and bake for Eloise Montagano, who has held her own here for Bedford. 4 goals to lead the way for the Bulldogs, 4 of the 7. Meanwhile, Lenti with Stevenson all over. Finally, we get a whistle. Those two had been bumping. The officials are going to give Bedford a free position shot here as Lenti going to eye the cage here from about, 8 meters out?
Yep. 8-meter shot. The way that she's got her stick low makes me think she's just going to step in and shoot.
And she does. Benson, another stop. Big second half for the Souhegan goalie.
A little bit of frustration there after that shot. So we saw extension of the arms. Again, you can have your stick and you can make contact with the body. There are 2 key things that you have to do. You have to keep your stick between your shoulders, again, so it can't be parallel to the ground, and then you can't extend. So you've got to hold your arms in place, almost like you're hugging a tree.
Time out as we hit the 7-minute mark here. 7:16 to play, fourth quarter. Largest lead on the board for Souhegan at 15-7. Our broadcast tonight, it's brought to you by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Showcase and training for college lacrosse. Of course, 2 websites, nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com by Beals Insurance. Locations in Bedford, Londonderry, and now Epping as well. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit bealsinsurance.com. By MG Sports Fundraising, that's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by Jewett Construction. Planning, architecture, construction management. Come join us to build something great. And, of course, their second annual Trades Scholarship Program was in full effect all season. The winner was just announced. Congratulations to Pinkerton Academy senior Justin Howell. As you see there, meeting with the higher-ups at Jewett Construction, getting himself a nice scholarship. He's on his way to the HVAC field. And, again, another successful year with Jewett Construction, making a difference in the trade scholarship field. So we appreciate them, their support for us here at Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. And, again, congratulations to Justin Howell of Pinkerton. He is the winner here in 2026. Souhegan got a big lead here, 15-7. And you can see why, Kristen. They have strung together 11, perhaps soon to be 12 straight wins. They're clicking on all cylinders again tonight.
They are, and they're seeing production from that sophomore duo. I think the Currans have been impressive today, and even just the way that their goals are spread across, six
yeah.
different players now.
Yep.
So, some teams at the, New Hampshire level rely on 1 to 2 stars, but they have a balanced and a deep roster that has been showing out today.
They've also got Maddie Ben on defense, another clear, as she does it herself via the sideline. 7 minutes to play, fourth quarter. Sky is starting to darken a little bit here. The lights are on and becoming more and more necessary as the entire field is now in shadow. Meanwhile, high mark swims through the defense there. Gauntlet. Sabres looking to reset as they come back up top for Stevenson. Going to direct traffic with the offhand. Looks for a one-on-one move against De Silva. Drops the shoulder, spins left, shoots and scores. Pretty. One-on-one there. Another hat trick for a Souhegan player. That's Izzy Stevenson, the junior. Able to beat Cy upstairs to make it 16-7.
No surprise who that goal scorer was today. Avery Curran has been doing it all.
Oh, you're right. It was Avery Curran. I'm sorry. I thought it was Stevenson. Well, they're both so talented foot-wise.
Yes.
It's hard, but you were right. It's Avery Curran, and that's a big second half for Curran. Now 4 goals since halftime.
Yeah, again, and even just the way she uses 2 hands there. Again, she started dodging hard right, rolls back to her left hand. She just, as the game has progressed, you see her more and more confident.
So 16-7. This one upstairs takes a chin-high bounce, and this is Stevenson who gets to the ground ball. So another face-off win for Souhegan.
Starting to see Souhegan make some substitutions. It look like they've got a few players in the box, so we might start to see some new faces and names take the field as they're starting to feel pretty comfortable with a 9-goal lead with 6 minutes remaining in the game.
We're midway through the fourth quarter. Shot, score. Guess who? This time, Emmy Curran. The Currans have now combined for 9 of the Souhegan 17. Curran gets her 5th, and that should trigger a running clock as well with the deficit at 10 for the first time here. Clock continuing to tick. 17-7 Sabres.
Yeah, with a running clock here, Bedford, the best thing that they can do for themselves to keep themselves in this game is get a goal right now. Claw back, stop the clock. This draw control is critical. We've seen, looks like both teams are starting to make some changes. So can't get a clear read on who that number is in the circle, but
first time a Bulldog besides Lenti has taken the draw. And it goes Souhegan's way.
So behind the camera, what you can't see what's happening is after Souhegan takes that draw, they're handing off a draw stick and trading with the defender. So the draw stick gives you an advantage. It holds the ball. It packs it in a little bit more tightly. But it's not the kind of stick that you want to be playing offense with and shooting with. So I've seen a lot of teams go to this. They have a draw-specific stick. They switch it out with the defender, and now they're back to playing offense.
So the Sabres going to take their time here. Still working on the attack, but the lead's safe enough at 17-7 as we head towards 4 minutes to play. Stevenson back. Oh, wow, over the shoulder. Tough pass, great catch, and a spectacular shot there. Highlight style to make it 18-7.
Stevenson and Kennedy demonstrating that chemistry that they have together. Wow, beautiful behind the back there from Kennedy. She does that really well because if you see, she spots the place on the cage where she wants to place it the entire time. So she never loses track of where she wants to place it. Beautifully executed BTB, and a good choice in that situation where she's just a little bit too far past where she wants to shoot. So just put it behind your back.
Having some fun here late in the fourth quarter. Souhegan has built up another run, 4 unanswered in this fourth quarter. They scored 5 straight in the third quarter. And at one point in the first half, strung together 6 unanswered. 18-7. We mentioned some of those gaudy wins for Souhegan during this 11-game win streak. Some of the high goal totals. Well, another one here in their final home game of the season, 18, and perhaps another on the way here with the final 3 minutes yet to be played. Although BG and Londonderry, their previous 2 opponents, despite that they were Sabre wins, held Souhegan 8-6 over Londonderry, 8-7 at BG. It was back last Thursday. But prior to that, double digits in 9 straight, including a high water mark of 20 in wins over Manchester Central and West and Nashua North. Bottom line, they got firepower, and the state has really been put on notice. Again, everybody chasing Portsmouth in their bid to make it 3 straight Division I championships, but perhaps just under the radar is this group right here in Souhegan.
Yeah, they are. They certainly have the talent to do so. I'm also really encouraged by the youth on the Souhegan team. You know, you talked about the number of sophomores that they have, even their really strong junior class. This is a team where if it's not this year, next year they are going to be contenders to watch out for.
Yeah. 6 seniors, 4 juniors, 9 sophomores, 1 freshman. The makeup for Souhegan. And Bedford relatively young as well. 7 seniors, yes, but only 2 juniors, 5 sophomores, and 4 freshmen on this varsity roster. Chaos in front leads to a ground ball behind. It rolls over the boundary and is given back to Bedford here for the final 100 seconds. Bulldogs going to finish at 8-8. Still good enough to qualify for the tournament, but they'll be the 8th seed and will likely face Portsmouth as the Clippers. Well, they can still falter here. They still got 3 games to go, but if they win out, they'll be the 1 seed yet again.
Bedford being challenged again by this Portsmouth ride in between the 30s. It's been a theme consistent throughout the entire game where the Sabres pack on the pressure, and they've been very successful at doing it in a very clean way. As we talked about how the officials were calling this game only 1 yellow card, and that was awarded to a sideline. So it has actually been a relatively clean game played with discipline. There can be that temptation at high speeds between the 30s to start swinging the sticks, those checks that follow through, but both teams have done a great job with that.
Meanwhile, clock continuing to tick as we get a free position shot there that hits, I believe, the post. Stevenson will make that Kennedy on the ground ball, and this is going to be Bain on the clear as we hit 20 seconds to play. Impressive stuff from Souhegan. They trailed Bedford 2-0 in the first 2 minutes of the game, and at one point 4-2 as well. Came back to tie it at 4 after the first quarter, and then really the last 3 quarters were all Souhegan. So they straighten things out in the draw circle, and they go on to post 18 goals in what is going to be their 12th straight win. Final score, Sabres 18, Bulldogs 7. Bedford finishes the regular season at 8-8, while Souhegan improves to 14-1. Coming up, full recap, stats, highlights, analysis, out-of-town scoreboard, post-game coverage next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Big performance for the home team, Souhegan, as they put Bedford away 18-7, the final score. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. We're presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. Bedford, their final game of the regular season, came in ready to play. They got the first 2 goals just 2 minutes in. It led 2-0. Souhegan responded. We had a 4-4 game after the first quarter. Second quarter, Souhegan really got rolling. Libby Kennedy, Izzy Stevenson, Kennedy, Emmy Curran in that order stretched their unanswered streak to 6 straight and pushed the lead up to 8-4. Final minute before halftime was wild as Bedford saw Liza Montagano score her second goal. Souhegan got a third from Kennedy, and then Montagano, with 2 seconds left, brought Bedford within 3 at the break, 9-6. Souhegan in front at halftime. But that's when Molly Benson started to get hot in net for the Sabres. 4 saves, all in that third quarter. Defense was good, and the attack kept pushing. 5 unanswered to begin the second half. Emmy Curran, Avery Curran, Kennedy, Avery Curran in that order. 14-6, the writing on the wall after 3 quarters. Bedford hung tough. Another goal from Mary Lenti. Scored twice tonight, took the majority of the face-offs for Bedford. Certainly held her own. But Souhegan ends the game with another goal run, 4 in a row. Hickman, Avery Curry, Emmy Curry, and then Kennedy. So 18-7. Souhegan's win streak is alive and well. They've won 12 straight. They're 14-1, trailing only undefeated Portsmouth in the Division I standings. The Sabres will wrap up the regular season tomorrow at Salem. Bedford, with the loss, finishes the regular season at 8-8 and is likely the number 8 seed in the upcoming 8-team Division I tournament.
Souhegan here looked like a team that you don't want to face in this tournament. They were firing on all cylinders with 6 different goal scorers. Really impressive performance that they strung together. But again, credit to Bedford for the way that they came out hot out of the gates. They started exactly like how you want to, winning draw controls, stringing goals together. So if you're Souhegan, this game looks really good on paper, but the thing that you've got to figure out is how do you come out firing like Bedford did. How do you take that early lead in these upcoming games? Because against an opponent like Portsmouth, if you get into that early deficit, it's really tough to claw your way back out of the hole.
Yeah. All right, that just about does it for our coverage here. We're going to be back next week with another girls broadcast a week from tomorrow, Thursday. That's the quarterfinal round for Division I. That matchup yet to be determined, but we will be on the air live, I believe at 5:30. Not quite sure. We're going to figure that out in the meantime as well. But stay posted. Stay on us here. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel already, please do so. I want to thank the sponsors. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, our presenting sponsor. Good stuff as usual. Of course, Beals Insurance, Jewett Construction, and MG Sports Fundraising in the fold as well. I want to thank Callie Braley, the athletic director here at Souhegan, and her staff, making it easy as usual. And, of course, our hardworking team here at Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, which includes videographers Kristen and Matt Beals. The whole thing, once again, flawlessly orchestrated by the man behind the curtain, the wizard of replay, the director, Ben Beals, back in the Beals Insurance Studios. For my partner, back in the saddle, good to see you, Kristen Cameron. My name is Nick Anastas, saying so long. Final score, final time. Souhegan, 18, Bedford 7. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.